Over 120 million Americans will be heading over the river and through the woods to loved ones' homes this year for this year's holiday travel season. So joining us now to break down the forecast is Aixa Diaz with AAA. Aixa, thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about what we should be expecting with these record numbers again this year?
Elena, here we are again, another record travel season. We hit a new record over Thanksgiving, and now we're projecting the same for the year-end holidays. So starting from the 20th of December through New Year's Day, we're projecting, like you said, more than 122 million Americans. And that's a new record. And keep in mind, AAA's forecasts are only domestic travel. So we're not even including the people who are going internationally. A couple of things to note. One is driving is setting a new record as well. 109 million people hitting the road. That is the vast majority of travelers. They will be taking road trips. And then we're projecting more than 8 million people traveling by air. When you look at year-end holiday travel, it's different from Thanksgiving. Most people leave around the same time over Thanksgiving and come back after the holiday. This is a 13-day window. So we're looking at 2 full weekends, and people are coming and going on different days. So we're going to have multiple days of busy roads and packed airports, not just a couple of 2.
I know it's a little bit trickier when we're talking about this holiday season compared to Thanksgiving, but going back to a little bit more about that air travel, there obviously have been recent impacts that have been since resolved. So are more people heading back to the skies this holiday?
I think a lot of people, their biggest concern with flying is the weather this time of year. Winter storms, any ice storms that could potentially ground flights and keep them from traveling. That is their biggest concern. And what we saw over Thanksgiving is we did see some delays and cancellations because of the weather. AAA's biggest advice is pay attention to what's going on. Don't be caught off guard. So check WeatherNation, check the weather forecast, make sure you know exactly what to expect, but also have a plan B. Understand that if you do arrive at the airport and you're canceled or delayed, what are you going to do? Are you going to rent a car? Are you going to cancel your trip altogether? Don't be caught off guard. But we do project many people will be flying. And there won't just be long security lines. Also be mindful that there can be a lot of traffic going into the airport. We saw it over Thanksgiving in Dallas, for example. So don't just give yourself time to get to your gate. Give yourself time to actually park or maybe get dropped off. But keep in mind that those lines getting into the airports can be very long.
Absolutely. The mental math, I'm always thinking, okay, 2 hours, I need this.
Yes.
But let's talk a little bit more about some of the roads this year. There's going to be millions on the roads. So why has there been such an uptake in the road trips this holiday season?
Yeah, road trips are easy. They're convenient. You can do last minute trips when you just go by car because you just jump in your vehicle and go. So we do project that about 90% of the people who are traveling for the year-end holidays are going to do so by car. And AAA always advises check your vehicle ahead of time, make sure your tire pressure is in good shape, your batteries, but also be mindful of what you do behind the wheel. And that means being safe, not only slowing down and moving over, which means when you see people on the side of the road doing their work, or maybe they have a flat tire, give those people room to do their work safely, but also drive sober. Impaired driving is deadly year round, but particularly around the holidays. So have a plan. How are you getting home after your holiday party? Plan a ride ahead of time. Make sure that you can either use a ride share or public transportation, but be mindful of these things. We can all get to our destination safely if we all have a plan and we all do it together.
Absolutely. Now, gas prices this year, a little bit lower compared to last year. Is there a reason why?
Yeah, so we are paying the lowest gas prices we've been paying in 4 years. So we hit that, we hit a milestone this month where we went below the $3 mark for the national average. And we haven't seen that since 2021. Crude oil prices make up most of what we pay at the pump. So when those numbers are down, the pump prices are down, and they have been pretty low this year. In fact, gas prices have been pretty steady all of 2025. So the national average keeps going down. There's no reason to believe it's going to spike back up. Of course, barring any global something could happen internationally that could affect things.
Now, are there any particular hot spots? Where are people traveling this season?
The hot spots are hot. The hot spots are the ones that have warm weather and sun, and people can go to the beach and pools. Florida is #1 on the list. You've got Hawaii, Southern California, but also New York City. You know, this is a beautiful time of year in New York, and a lot of people like to take some sightseeing vacations and going to New York City. But internationally, you've got Caribbean resorts, Mexico, and Europe. So many European cities not only have beautiful holiday markets, but also river cruising is big this time of year in Europe.
Ooh, you're making me want to take a trip out there, but let's talk a little bit about the timing. What's the best and worst time to travel this season?
Yeah, the end of year is tricky, right? Because any one day could be bad depending on when people are leaving. But that Saturday before Christmas, that 20th, that's going to be a busy day on the road. So watch out for that weekend, but also the days leading up to Christmas. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day itself, those two aren't as bad. A lot of people want to be at their destination by the holiday. So typically it's the days around it. And then as we get closer to New Year's Eve, but Christmas week is expected to be busier on the roads than New Year's week. The earlier you can hit the road, the better. If you wait too long, anything past like 9 or 10 a.m., forget it. You're going to be stuck in traffic for hours. So try to leave early in the morning, get a good night's rest, and then the sun comes up, have a good breakfast, and then hit the road. And you're going to really save some time the earlier you leave from home.
Absolutely. Now, last question for you is what should people be keeping in mind when they're heading home?
I think, first of all, safety, but also remembering that there are so many more people who are also traveling with you. Give yourself time. Don't be in a rush. Pack an emergency kit if you're traveling by car, if you're traveling by air, have some snacks with you. And again, give yourself plenty of time. Avoid checking a bag when you go to the airport. That also saves you some time and money. But just be mindful that a lot of people are coming back at the same time. Usually, if they're coming back around New Year's, let's say they're coming back New Year's Day or the weekend after even, just understand that there are going to be so many more people on the roads and so many people at the airports, not just 1 or 2 days, but over this 2-week extended period.
Okay, so lots to keep in mind for the upcoming season. Basically, bottom line is a lot more people are going to be traveling, a lot more people on the roads. So I think that the main thing is just pack your patience this season.
Yes.
All right, thank
Absolutely.
you so much, Aixa from AAA. We appreciate all of your information and all of your tips to travel home safely for the upcoming season. We'll be right back.